So the information processing model kind of sees the mind as a computer, but an imperfect computer. And so there's kind of three stages to memory. The very first part is the sensory memory. And the sensory memory is just everything that you're observing with all of your senses. And so all of that is input. And really, your sensory memory is unlimited, and you retain everything for about 2 to 3 seconds. After that, it's either gone or you pay attention to it. And so there's kind of 4 reasons why you might pay attention to something. One is kind of the size, intensity, novelty of something, or incongruity. So for instance, like if you see a palm tree in Alaska, that might seem strange, so you're going to pay attention to that, right? And then once you kind of pay attention to something, then it goes into your working memory. Your working memory can hold about 5 to 9 items for 5 to 20 seconds. Now there's different ways to kind of trick yourself into remembering more items, like you can chunk things together, and it only holds it for about 5 to 20 seconds. And so that's what this loop right here is for. So there's different things that you can do to kind of keep it in your working memory. You can rehearse it and you can go over it. You can try to, like I said, chunk it with other information. So basically what you're doing is you just keep looping it back and forth and back and forth. Eventually, that will be encoded into your long-term memory. So there's different ways to encode information. Like you can use, let's say, mnemonic devices to kind of help you remember things or encode it into your long-term memory. So you can use acrostics to kind of remember things, or acronyms such as ROY GBIT for the colors of the rainbow, things like that. You can use chain mnemonics, kind of rhymes or things like that, jingles that will help you remember things. You can use visualizations to try to remember that as well. And so then once it's been coded into long-term memory, this holds huge amounts of information, perhaps unlimited amounts of information, from anywhere from a day to a lifetime, depending on how important it is to you or how well you've encoded that into your memory. For instance, some of you may still remember the phone number that you used when you were a child, right? Because you just rehearsed that over and over and over until it became ingrained or encoded into your memory, and then that can be retrieved. Now, all of the information in a long-term memory can be always retrieved easily. Sometimes it takes a triggering event to retrieve certain types of information. Some other types of information can be easily retrieved, depending on how frequently you use it. But that's basically it. But essentially, if you're a teacher and you're following the information processing model, you need your students to pay attention to something. You need to help them to use it in their working memory. So you can use mnemonics, acrostics, all these different mind tools to try to help them understand, to try to help them encode that information in their long-term memory. And then as a teacher, you ask them to retrieve that information every so often. So you can do that informally or on exams or things like that.